I'm gonna teach you how to use a smart hula hoop for beginners. So if you have no idea what you're doing and you just started out, this is a great video for you. So we're gonna go ahead and look at multiple smart hula hoop tips. The first tip that I wanna talk about in this video, even before you start smart hula hooping, the type of smart hoop that you use is super important. If you don't have the right kind of smart hoop, it doesn't matter the tips that I give you in this video, it may not work out for you because there just really are some smart hoops out there that aren't that great. And there's even some phony smart hoops out there. So if you want to know which smart hula hoops that I recommend, then I recommend going down to the video description and checking out my affiliate links. So once you get the right smart hula hoop, the next tip on this list of tips is I recommend that you get something like this. So basically you want to get a under pad, something just to put under the smart hula hoop when you wear it. It can make the smart hula hooping experience much more comfortable. Also too, in some cases, it can prevent bruising. Now, in Abby's case, she's not gonna wear one of these today because she has multiple layers of clothing on. I think she's gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay, right?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
And if you are in need of an under pad, I did put a link in the description of this video. Moving right along to the third tip on this list, where you place the hoop on your body is super important. Go ahead, Abby, take that apart there and put that on your body. Right now, where Abby has it on, it's kind of high. Would you say it is a little bit above your belly button?
Oh yeah.
I want you to go ahead and give this a spin. Now, how does that feel?
It feels okay, but it's better when it's lower.
I purposefully made these smart hoops smaller so that it would rest higher on Abby's body. Because I just wanted to show that as a beginner, if you're just starting out, having it up higher on your body like this may make it more challenging. So I have this extra link right here. Let's go ahead and take that off, and we're gonna go ahead and put this extra link in, and we're gonna move the smart hoop down a little bit lower. The extra link is now in the hoop right here, and Abby has all 24 links in this hoop. Try to move it down as far as it can go where it is still comfortable. So now give that centrifugal ball a spin.
Okay.
And how does that feel now?
Better.
Okay, so it's easier when it's lower.
Yeah.
Okay, so just putting that out there in terms of placement, if you can bring the smart hoop down lower, like in Abby's case, if she even put like an extra link or a couple extra links in there, she could probably even bring it down even lower, get it more on the hips. And then that's when you can really get sort of that power motion when you get it lower like that. If you're in the situation where you've used all your links and you're struggling, then you may want to buy some extra links. That might be the reason why you're unable to get it, is you just need to bring that hoop down lower to get yourself some more power in your spins. Moving on to the fourth tip on this list, it is really important to adjust the centrifugal ball length of the cord. Right now, Abby has the cord length to be much closer, so that centrifugal ball is going to be closer to her body. Now, I want you to go ahead and just try it with it that close to your body, and let's see what happens. How does that feel?
It's all right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Do you think it's harder or do you think it's easier?
Harder.
Harder? Okay. Now, in terms of the length of the cord, the shorter the length of the cord is, the ball should spin faster around your body, which can make it more challenging, but can also create a more intense workout. Now, if you have the length of the cord longer, that can make the ball spin around at a slower speed, which can, for some people, make it easier to spin. Abby, I'll have you go ahead and adjust the cord to the furthest distance. And then once that cord is adjusted, I'll have you go ahead and give it a spin. Okay, how does that feel now?
It's a lot easier.
A lot easier. If you are first starting out, this is your first time, I recommend adjusting that cord length to be at its furthest distance. And then as you get better and you want a more intense workout, then you can adjust that cord length to be closer to your body. Now we are on to tip number 5 on this list. The first throw is super important. If you're gonna throw the centrifugal ball and you're just gonna, give it a little teeny toss, that may make it difficult to spin. You're gonna wanna give it a nice throw, and you're gonna wanna make sure that when you do toss it, that you toss it parallel with the ground. Go ahead, Abby, and give it a nice parallel throw around your body. Okay. Now, I am noticing when she threw it, though, the ball kind of went up and down at first, and that's okay. It is possible to recover if it starts doing that. The key here is you got to get a good first throw, because if you don't, then that may make it challenging to keep spinning. Now we are moving on to the 6th tip in this video, which is kind of more of a question. How do you keep the ball spinning? To get started answering that question, it's important to have correct form and posture when you are using your smart hula hoop. So Abbey, what I'll have you do, I'll have you stand with your legs shoulder width apart. I know in some of our previous videos, I had you put your foot forward and you did more of a rocking back and forth motion, but let's go ahead and try this instead.
Okay.
So you're gonna wanna put your feet about shoulder width apart. And the key here is you're gonna stand up straight while doing this. More or less, the motion is you're going to kind of go side to side in this sort of motion like this. Okay, so go ahead and try this. Let's see how it works. All right, you're kind of getting at a very slow pace there. So something that I'm noticing right away with the spinning here is it does look like the hoop has kind of gotten a little diagonal on your body. So go ahead and you're gonna wanna push that backside down a little bit more. So just really give it a push down. And I want you to try it again. And like I said, really put your feet about shoulder width apart. They can even be a little bit further than shoulder width, and really try to go side to side in that motion. So go ahead and give it another spin.
All right.
Okay, there you go. It looks like you're doing it. Something else to think about if you're doing this, it is possible for your hoop to kind of just go up in the back like that while you're practicing. So you may need to just be aware of that. And if that happens, just go ahead and correct it. You know, push the hoop down and then try to spin it again. Now, when doing the movements, I do recommend keeping a neutral spine. I don't recommend rocking from your shoulders. So, you know, rocking your shoulders downward and diagonal. Really try to isolate your shoulders as much as you can. They're likely going to move a little bit. Also, when you are using your smart hoop, please don't twist your body to get it to go around, especially if you have back problems. I just feel like doing repetitive twisting could be a problem for someone's back. So instead, what I recommend doing is really just focus going side to side and avoid doing that twisting motion to get the ball to spin around. Even if you use your smart hula hoop correctly, if you have issues with your back or you have some sort of health issue where doing the repetitive motion of hula hooping, if that's something that would harm yourself, then I do recommend that you go talk to a doctor first before using a smart hula hoop. Moving right along. Another smart hula hoop stance that you can try is the rocking back and forth stance. Now I know, Abbey, you're very familiar with this motion. So go ahead, put one foot in front of you. This is something else you can try too. If you're unable to get the side to side motion going, then give this a spin. So do the rocking back and forth. So basically Abbey just has one foot in front of the other, and she's just kind of, you know, rocking more or less from that core region. In this position, it can be easy to teeter sort of up and down and just rocking diagonal from your shoulders. You want to avoid doing that. If you find yourself teetering too much in this position and it's hard to maintain nice posture, then I recommend switching back to doing the shoulder width stance. Now we are moving on to the 7th tip in this video. Over exaggerate your movements if you need to. And what I mean by that is if you are doing that side to side motion, some of you may have to just really get into that side to side motion to get the hoop spinning. So now I want you to go ahead and over exaggerate the movement and really just get into it. Just really move. Yeah, see, look at that. See, that ball is just spinning around. It may not be necessary to do this going forward. Really, the key here is you just got to get it jump started. And then once you get better, then you can practice doing varying speeds. Now we are moving on to the 8th tip on this list. This is probably one of the hardest things to teach on this list, and that is you have to find the rhythm of the smart hoop. Yes, you have to move on beats, because if you don't do that, and let's say, you just start moving your body randomly, even if you are doing the correct motions, you're going side to side, if you're just doing it randomly, then, you know, it's likely the hoop will just kind of sputter out and fall. Now, here's the thing. If you're really struggling to find your rhythm, an exercise that I would practice is just take your smart hula hoop off, and I want you to put a song on in the background. And I just want you to stand in that shoulder width stance and go side to side to the beat of the song. Find the tempo of the song and just practice that. And then when you do that song, I want you to do another song of a different tempo and then practice forming those movements to that tempo. Work up to doing faster songs. And then once you get better finding your rhythm without the smart hoop, then come back, put your smart hula hoop on, and then try again. If you're struggling to do this, then yeah, it's just gonna take some practice. And also too, if you didn't follow the other tips before this tip on this list, like you didn't get the extra links and bring the hoop down if you need to do that, or you have the hoop diagonal or something else, you don't have the right hoop, then you may not even be able to do this, okay? You wanna go ahead and make sure you've taken care of all those tips first on this list. Come back here, you know, practice your rhythm and go from there. And also too, practice different tempos. Try to go faster. Can you go faster? Try to go as fast as you can. And then also try to go at these slower tempos as well. And really just varying those speeds. Oh, that's great. She's going slower there. So practice slow. And then now can you go back to fast? Can you get that thing going faster again? And see, as you get better, you'll start to really listen to that centrifugal ball spinning around, and you can just form your body movements to fit the ball spinning. Now we are on to the 9th tip in this video. You gotta flex your abs. Yes, you have to flex your abs, tuck in your tummy. That is something that I recommend that you do. It is possible to spin the centrifugal ball around and not really activate those ab muscles as much, but I recommend when you are spinning it around to activate your ab muscles and really focus on flexing your abs. If you aren't engaging your core muscles while using a smart hoop, then I would ask the question, what are you doing? You know, what muscles are you engaging? And so I would be more concerned that you might start relying on your back more to help compensate to get that ball to spin around. Some of you out there may have the question, well, wait a minute, how am I supposed to flex my abs, tuck my tummy in, and then breathe at the same time? If this is something that you struggle with, it is possible to do that. Tighten up your stomach and just take the hoop off. And I want you just to practice breathing, okay? So practice inhaling, so bring a breath in, and then also a breath out, exhaling, while maintaining a tight stomach, okay? If you struggle with that, then you may wanna practice that first without the hoop. And then once you get better at finding your breath while also activating those ab muscles, come back, put your hoop on, and then do that while you're hooping, okay? Tuck in your tummy and maintain that good posture. Now we are to the 10th tip in this video. Make sure to wear your smart hoop so it fits snug around your body. If your smart hoop is too loose, then there is a chance that the hoop frame, as you are spinning the ball around, could just kind of slide around your clothing and not really stay in one space. So that's why I do recommend that you have more of a snug fit, but I don't recommend wearing it so tight that you experience pain and it's uncomfortable to wear. Moving on to tip number 11, make sure you have good balance. If while using your smart hoop you find it difficult to maintain your balance and you're constantly losing your footing, well, that could make it harder to keep the centrifugal ball spinning. If you do struggle with this, I do recommend that you practice the previous stances that I showed in this video, the rocking back and forth stance and also the shoulder width stance, and choosing the stance that will give you the best balance. Now, I know I said to over-exaggerate the movements in a previous tip in this video, but if you are flailing your body just to try to get that ball to spin around, if you are over-exaggerating the wrong movements, then that will not help you. Instead, create a foundation with your feet on the ground while slightly bending your knees and focus on balancing. If your preferred stance is the rocking back and forth stance, avoid pointing your back foot too far to the side. Instead, I recommend straightening your foot forward. Now it's time for the 12th tip in this video. Now, if you're still struggling to this point in the video, a smart hula hoop hack that you can do is you can add more twine or rope to your cord to make it even longer. This really is a hack. This isn't something that's supposed to be for the long term, because eventually, you're going to want to take that extra bit of rope off. But what you can do is make the centrifugal ball go out even further. And what this can do is it can make it spin even slower. And for some people that may be easier, and you may need that extra length on the cord just to be able to jumpstart your smart hooping experience. Also, using the rope and twine to extend the ball out may be dangerous in some situations. I would recommend being careful, and this is one of those things that you're probably going to want to do it outside and not do it around pets and people, okay? And like I said, this is something that should be a quick fix, because you don't really want to do this for long. It's just to help you get the motions down so that you can advance. And then eventually, as you get better, try to get the centrifugal ball to be as close as you can to your body so you can get it to spin a lot faster and get a more intense workout. A smart weighted hula hoop hack I don't recommend doing is putting lubricants or WD-40 on your hoop to get the ball to spin around. If you have to put WD-40 on your hoop, that means that you either got the wrong hoop, your hoop is broken, or you need to get extra links, or you're using your smart hula hoop incorrectly. If you have the right smart hoop and you are using it correctly, you shouldn't need lubricant to get the ball to spin around. Unless your smart hoop specifically tells you to use lubricant, I would be concerned about the possibility of damaging your smart hoop if you use lubricant. Moving right along to tip number 13, take advantage of the adjustability of your smart hoop. Not all the tips on this list are set in stone. And what I mean by that, if you like to wear your smart hoop up higher, let's say you put it up higher and you're like, you know what, I like this, this feels good, then wear your smart hoop up higher. Really just explore what works best for you. Also too, the length of the cord. Not everybody finds it to be the easiest when the cord is at the furthest distance. If you find it easier to bring the ball in closer, then bring the ball in closer. I highly recommend taking advantage of the cord length and just exploring what works best for you. Now it is time for tip number 14. If you're still struggling, use your smart hoop in front of the mirror or record a video of yourself. Sometimes the best smart hoop video to learn from is the video of you using your smart hoop. Even though it could feel like you're doing everything right, watching a video of yourself can quickly reveal what you're doing wrong. If you're still struggling to this point in the video, please hop down to the comment section to let me know. It would be great to see where people are at. And speaking of great, one of the most important tips on this whole list, tip number 15, I'm going to tell you right now. Join the Smart Hula Hoop group that I created on Facebook. There are thousands of members in that group. The community there is super quick to respond to beginners who are asking for help. To join that Smart Hoop group, check out the link I put in the description of this video. Now we are on to tip number 16, spin the ball in both directions. It may feel awkward doing this in the opposite direction, but that is totally okay. And it just may take some practice for you to get both directions down. I don't recommend spinning in the same direction the whole time. Instead, try splitting it up and spinning in both directions evenly. Now we are on to tip number 17. Once you are able to use your smart hoop successfully, take your workout to the next level and practice movement. Practice transitioning into different stances. Go from side to side to having one foot in front of the other and then going back to side. Also, try to take some steps forward. Also, try to take some steps backwards, as well as taking some steps side to side. And then if you really want to have some fun, you can go ahead and throw in some arm movements in there. Move your hands around, but I will warn you, don't move your arms down too low so that your hands end up hitting the ball. That is something I have done before, and I must say that did hurt. Now, if you really want to take your workouts to the next level, throw some songs on in the background and really just try to rock out to those songs. Find the beat of the music and try to hoop on that beat and really just have fun, really just move your body around and explore what works for you and find your groove. Moving right along, now we are on to tip number 18, which is Listen to your body. Don't overexert yourself. Even though using a smart hula hoop may seem super fun and even addictive to some, take it easy. Do shorter workouts at first to see how your body responds. Allow time for your body to adjust to this new exercise. Using a smart hula hoop shouldn't be painful. If you do experience pain, I recommend stopping immediately and seeking medical attention if needed, along with checking in with yourself to see if your current workout plan needs to be adjusted. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, how long should you use your smart hula hoop for? The answer to that question will vary for different people. Even though some people out there may use a smart hoop every day for 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes, or in some cases even longer than that, doing it that often and for that long may be too much for some people. To some people out there, it could be quite an achievement just to use a smart hula hoop for a couple minutes successfully. This is where you're really gonna have to explore what amount of time and frequency will work best for you, along with listening to advice from your doctor. I also recommend reading the instructions that came with your smart hoop and seeing what the instructions say in terms of how often and how long you should use your smart hoop for. And if you have made it this far in the video, I would love it if you could give this video a like and subscribe. The more likes and subscribes this video gets tells me that I am doing something right and that maybe I should continue to post educational smart weighted hula hoop videos like this in the future. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Until next time, enjoy.